There are a lot of things that I would have done better if I had been prepared for them at the beginning of my career. I want to talk about a pertinent subject that I wish I had known before becoming an accountant. Accounting is quite interesting as a profession. It has its own particular characteristics which if most people knew before they actually become an accountant, perhaps they wouldn't become accountants, or perhaps they would know what aspects of accounting they want to pursue. But it's the same for me. Let me tell you my long list of things that I wish I knew before I became an accountant. The first thing is the fact that a lot of accounting work is very cyclical. Accountants do exactly the same thing every month. In other words, the work is cyclical, meaning to say this year, what you do this year is likely to be the same as what you do next year. The work is very routine. The work is a lot of steps, rules, principles. It has a routine, a very strong routine, which you cannot change. So, for example, if you are going for an audit, if it's a year end, there will be a lot of audits that are back to back. And the process of auditing is pretty much the same as you did last year. It barely changes. So if you're someone who likes variety, accounting might probably not give you that much variety as other fields. It's just something to think about. The other thing that people never talk about is that examination for accounts are very hard. Obviously, this is controversial. I don't expect everyone to agree, but basically, accounting exams are generally very hard and very expensive to pay for. Well, some people have the resources to pay for them, but they consume a lot of time. They are expensive. They take a lot of time for you to pass them. Certainly, it's a good thing in one sense as well, because people have to really study for them. But the time commitment for them is a lot for you to get through them. Most professional examinations, they require you to pass a number of courses that you need to go through before you become a fully recognized professional accountant. People also have a misconception about accounting. They think that if you are good with numbers, you will excel in accounting. Not quite, not really. If accounting is very much also a people function, because you are pretty much dealing with people each and every day, you need to establish very strong relationships with them so that you're able to succeed and get through to them. You need to know people, a lot of people who manage different things. If you don't know them, it will be very difficult to communicate and help them achieve their objectives. It will be very difficult for you to help them make decisions. It will be very difficult for you to influence them. So you need to be able to know a lot of people, but also equally establish very meaningful relationships with them. So it's not just numbers. Numbers alone won't get you through accounting. You need to be able to establish relationships. Very critical. The other thing that is never said about accounting, which has become a common feature of modern working, is the fact that you spend the whole day staring on a screen, working spreadsheets, using different systems and tools that you need, but pretty much you are staring on a screen. Those tools and software that you need are all on computer. So it's one function where you need to really make sure that your eyes are not strained, because the glare from the screen can just be troubling. If you have problems with your eyes, accounting might also make it a little bit difficult. But certainly this is just a generalization, as I'm saying. If you don't have problems with eyes, this might not be a big problem. You pretty much be sitting in one position most of the time, unless you go for a meeting, unless you are meeting somebody else in another office or in the boardroom like I am now. Otherwise, there isn't much to be walking around and doing, because most of the accounting function, you need to go to your office or your desk and sit down and start working. So in that sense, the variety of seeing different things or different places is not there. It's pretty much just not there. You are supposed to be in the office and you're focusing on what you need to get through and deliver on it. So if you're someone who likes to be able to see different places and be able to do different things in different geographical areas, perhaps it's something to think about. Accounting function also has a lot of peak periods. There's a budgeting time, there's the year end where you actually closing the books, and there's a lot of pressure in those times. So whenever you go through those peak periods, there's a lot of pressure on you to be able to deliver and to be able to get through a lot. So that might affect your mental health. If someone who easily struggles with mental health problems, it's something to think about, because whenever there is peak periods like audits and budgeting periods or focusing periods, this might put a lot of pressure on you. And if your life is busy at home or at school or at other activities you do in your own life, your job might become also a pressure point. Nobody told me that when you become an accountant, you will need to pay membership fees to maintain your membership as a professional accountant. If you want to become a professional accountant for life, you need to pay membership fees to retain your membership. I thought that once you are qualified, that's the end of the game. You can go home now and go to work, and that's done. But that's not how it works. Once you are qualified, every year you need to maintain your standing, and you need to submit CPDs, continuous professional development, work that you have been doing throughout the year. So that's a lot of work as well for you. CPDs, you need to attend trainings, you need to attend a lot of other things to keep yourself abreast. So in other words, the learning itself never ends. You pass the exam well and good, but you need to also maintain your membership, paying annual membership fees, and also going through a lot of trainings to keep yourself abreast with changes in the industry. All those things are very good intentions. It's just that when you begin as an accountant, when you choose the profession, nobody runs you through those things and say, do you really want to be an accountant after listening to all these things? At least for me, I didn't get that opportunity. You might have gotten that opportunity, or you may get that opportunity. Well and good for you. But for me, I found it a little bit of a challenge because I never went through those things. I fell into the profession because somebody persuaded me to become an accountant. Not that I was bad with it, not that I could not do accounting. It's just that I never went through that sort of checklist with him to be able to help me choose whether it's the right profession for me or whether to actually have an alternative. Then my final point is this: take care of your physical health. Your body needs to exercise. Very easy for you to become an accountant, yes, but equally, it's very easy for you to always be sitting on your desk and doing analysis and delivering everything in time and doing good work and talking to your clients, but forgetting to exercise. You can do that at your expense. You lose yourself. You fall into the trap of sacrificing your health. So exercise is important. Even if accountants are not required to exercise as part of their profession, the fear fact that most of the time you spend sitting down, maybe interrupted once in a while by having meetings with different clients, and you pretty much sitting down most of the time. You need to exercise to keep yourself fit. Otherwise, you will be intelligent, you will be able to deliver a lot of things, but still having very poor health, and that might affect your attendance at work and your performance as well, ultimately. Yes, so that is my list. I wish I had known all these 7 things at the beginning. I would have probably been prepared for it than I was when I started. If you don't, think through these things and just be aware of them. It's a good start. If you have a solution to what you need to do, that's even better. At least then you can be able to implement it as you go. Having said all this, I'm not saying accounting is a bad profession. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm bad with it either. I'm simply saying that there are a lot of things that I would have done better if I had been prepared for them at the beginning of my career, things that I didn't know at the beginning, which I'm trying to share with you. Certainly, forewarned is forearmed, so that's what I would say.